This video is sponsored by Skillshare.
Did you know that last year 12 million tons of furniture ended up in our trash? That's where this guy was heading, but a friend of mine told me, come on over, I'm getting ready to toss this out. So I ran and I grabbed this. One less piece that we're gonna save, but I don't know if you're gonna like what I do to it today. Keep watching. This piece is in really good structural shape, but like everything else in the last few years, it's been painted. The paint job has served its purpose for its previous owners, but for me, a reseller, it's got to be redone. It's got to be stripped off. It's got to be taken care of. There's tons of brush marks that are left on this. My guess is this is just latex paint, which has also got to go because a lot of it is chipping and flaking off like latex will tend to do. The drawers are in great shape. I haven't totally decided what I'm doing with this yet because I've got to get this paint off before I can make a really good decision design-wise of what I want this to look like. So stay tuned. You all can tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I am reading this to be December 21st, 1957. I really don't have a game plan yet on this one. I'm hoping that it speaks to me as we go, but I definitely know that this hardware needs to come off. I don't know if this is going to go back on. I'm really not sure. So I'm just going to take this off. We're going to set it aside, see what happens. Now that I got all the hardware off, I'm going to take out the drawers and make sure I number them so that I can remember where each one goes. If you watch my channel regularly, you know by now I've normally had everything cleaned, but this whole dresser, all this paint's got to go before I can start. So there's no sense in cleaning this when I have to strip all this paint off. It's not used. There's never any money in these things. So we're not going to clean first. I'm going to go ahead and start putting on the chemical stripper and get this navy blue paint off of here. I've got to take a break from this heat. You all know that I love flipping furniture and sharing my projects on here on YouTube, but recently I found a way to take my passions to the next level with Skillshare. Skillshare has outstanding classes. I'm currently taking one right now by Parker Guard called Building an Etsy Shop That Sells. This Skillshare class is helping me learn how to set up an Etsy shop from scratch. They cover everything that I've been nervous about, like creating eye-catching listings, getting my shop noticed in searches, even helping me with things like pricing and shipping that I just was not so sure about with starting an Etsy store. It's all explained to me in a way that's super easy to follow, which is great because let's face it, we all want to get back to the fun part of creating our pieces, right? So imagine this, somebody watches my furniture flip, they fall in love with the piece, and now guess what? They can order it for themselves straight out of my Etsy shop and have it shipped to them directly. This is something I didn't have access to before because I was just so nervous to try it. But Skillshare has given me this capability and it's just a win-win. Skillshare is chock full of classes taught by industry experts across a wide range of interests like film, illustration, design, freelance, productivity, and so much more. I've also learned some killer strategies for social media marketing, SEO, creating content, stuff like that that really helps drive traffic to my channel. So if you are thinking about starting your own Etsy shop and you want to up your game or learn a fun new skill, I highly recommend checking out Skillshare. It's been a huge help for me and I'm sure it's going to be one for you too. The first 500 people that use the link in my description below are going to receive 1 month free trial of Skillshare. So what are you waiting for? Let's get started today.
Now that I've got most of the chemical stripper off, I'm using some steel wool and some mineral spirits just to go over the body of the dresser a little more to get off any residual stickiness, and this will also help get any paint that was left behind. I got out my Festool orbital sander and I'm taking all these drawers down to bare wood as well. As always, you can find all the tools and supplies that I use on my furniture flips listed in the video description below.
Now that I've got everything sanded, the next step is to wipe everything down with mineral spirits just to make sure all of that sanding dust is completely off this piece of furniture before I continue with that next step. So you could totally seal it just like it is. And when you rub the mineral spirits on there, it'll show you what that wood will look like if you just seal it. Even though this is it beautiful? Some of you are going to say it's beautiful. I think it's just way too splotchy for me. But if you sealed it just like this, that's what it would look like. This isn't the look we're going for. So now I'm just going to get all of my sanding dust off so we can get to the next step.
I'm creating a really easy to make paint wash. I am using some leftover tan paint. Most of this is the color Road Trip from Country Chic Paint. I'm using about 1/4 of paint to 3/4 water, so it's really light and it'll just help me take out some of these orange tones that are left in the wood.
Now that the paint wash is ready, I'm going to mist down the surface of these drawers and the carcass of this dresser just so it absorbs it a little more evenly. And so once the mist is done, it's just a really light mist. You don't want it like dripping all over the place. I'll take my paint wash and paint on just a really smooth, even coat and wipe it back right away. I don't want to give it any time to dry, especially in my Texas heat. It's going to dry really fast. And this just helps even out the tones on the dresser. It'll help take out any of the orangey tones that you have. It's going to help blend in some of the blotchiness a little bit better. And overall, it's going to create that really cool raw wood light look that is so hot and trending right now on this dresser. My paint wash has dried overnight. I really like the look of this. I was going to take this another direction. I actually purchased this Fusion. It's a stain and a finishing oil all in one. I got this on Etsy actually, and this is in the taupe color. But I really like the way that this paint wash is going. And I think if I just put on another coat of this, it's really going to capture the look that I'm going for. So I'm going to hold off on this guy. I'll use him on a future project. I'm going to do one more coat of that paint wash, and then we'll see what we've got after that. I got some really cool handles for these off of Amazon, but I filled the old hardware holes. There was like 6 hardware holes on the front of this. Some of them were small, some of them were big. I don't know which one was the original, but I filled in some of them, and then I did the paint wash over the top, and now the wood fill that matched doesn't match. So I picked up these wood wax crayons from Amazon, and There is a more expensive set that's from Mohawk. I'm hoping I don't regret the fact that I bought the cheaper set because they're not blending that great, but I think they're going to be able to work. They were quite a bit cheaper than the Mohawk ones, but I don't know, you guys. Anybody that owns these or the Mohawks, sound off in my comments. Let me know if I should get the Mohawk ones, make that investment. I'm not really sure, but let's try to make these blend.
Woo! Now that one is quite the before and after. Whether you enjoyed the before or the after of this furniture flip, I think that we can all agree it is much better than being in the landfill. Sound off in the comments. I'm so interested to know which one you prefer, the before or the after. Be sure to check out my link below for Skillshare. The last time I posted one of those, it was a big hit, so be sure to grab it before all of those spots are all gone. This dresser was listed last night and it already has 117 views and 11 saves on it in just a few hours. So as always, I will post when it sells in my community page and tell you how much I sold it for. But to get that information, you gotta hit that subscribe button. So be sure to hit that so you never miss a flip. Thanks for being here, you guys. I will see you next time at Lemons to Lemonade Furniture.